Alright guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to turn this into this. Alright, so there's this fallen cherry tree behind me. Today we're going to get a few logs, take them to my hand powered mini sawmill, turn them into some planks, and we're going to make a photo frame, maybe a spice rack, and just get some wood for if I ever need anything. So I'm looking for a few branches that are fairly straight. This bit looks promising, so I'll just cut from maybe here Alright, that looks like a good bit, man. We'll definitely get a piece of wood out of there. Okay, so when I said I had a sawmill, I wasn't being completely honest. What I actually have is a vise and a saw. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut the top bit flat. So here we have it, one flat edge. You can't complain with that, it stands up. You can see that's fairly straight. Cut it there so you can gather that's going to be the width. I have a green laser along that top line, and it's also running along here. You may not be able to see it, but I can see it running along. So I'm going to mark this line as another straight edge, and I'm going to saw straight down. Okay, so we have our marks. I've just put a few every now and then so we know we're on track. So I'm going to cut straight down there. I like to start with one of these Japanese saws just to score it. As you can see, down to the first mark. We've got a long way to go yet. See, halfway down. I've hit every mark on the way down. I'm a little bit to the right. Lovely. There's our first flat edge. See how flat it is. Not bad. It's obviously not perfect, but it's not machine perfect, but it's human perfect, I'd say. Okay, so now I know that I want my pieces 1.5 inches thick, so I'll start on this edge. I'll mark where I'm going to cut right there. So I'll put a little black mark there. I'm going to come 1.5 inches off. Which is there, and we're going to draw a line coming straight down. And obviously, to make sure it's square, we want to measure, is it the same all the way around, all the way along? Yep, so and we're gonna start cutting. We'll get this right side out the way. So same thing again. I'm gonna start with this Japanese saw, just to go nice and slow. You can see we're getting there slowly, and just to show you, it's fairly square all the way down. So here we have it, 2 sides done. So now I have both sides cut, which leaves me with the back. So now I have my line marked going down. Forget the one on the top. I'm going to follow that down, and that should leave me with a plank that thick. Halfway there, and you can see the plank coming to life. And here we have it, 1 plank. Not too bad if I say so myself. Okay, so here's 4 planks drying by the fire. Just the wood was a little bit wet. Okay, so here we have them, 4 planks. I'm going to use this as my straight edge. Okay, so here you have it, the frame. The glass sits on the lip of them bits. And we're going to work out how to cut these at a 45-degree angle. I've been told you hold it like this, you mark it there, and you go from the corner of that line to the corner. So and then I want to chop off that bit, so the corner of there, okay, so I've got the 2 bits that I'm going to chop off here. Okay, so as you can see, the bit with the scribbles getting chopped off, and they should fit nicely together. Slow with the Japanese saw. Okay, that is definitely not perfect anyway. Okay, so I've done one side. It's not very pretty, but neither am I, so it's a bit like myself. Now we're going to do the other side, same thing. So here we have it, all 4 bits made. Not perfect, but the glass fits in. Next thing I need to do is clamp it together and mark out the glass and carve a ridge so the glass can sit in. So this line I just drawn, I need to chisel out so I can fit the glass in on, and it will sit on the lip. So my next thing is chisel, 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 chisel. Okay, so here you have it, the rim. Not too bad, not too bad, if you ask me. Okay, so I was struggling a bit with the gluing. I couldn't figure out how to do it all at once, so I glued them two together. It's not perfect. I wanted to glue it all together and then sand it before I get it perfect. So I'm going to glue this side on now. So I've just glued that and I've literally placed it together, and going to hope for the best. I'm using Gorilla, toughest glue about. So tough it glued its own lid on. Alright, welcome back up. As you can see, I've glued the two bottom ones together. The glass sits in there. Now I'm going to glue the top one in. I'm going to do these at the same time. So my work is not perfection, if you haven't gathered that by now, but that's why God invented sanding. So I'm going to just mark where I want them to be put. So that's just for when I glue. So pretty simple here. Gorilla wood glue, so good it glued its own cap on. So we open like that. I don't even have any clamps, or I don't have the knowledge on how to clamp a photo frame because of the weird angle. So I'm just going to press it together and don't touch it. And to be fair, that seems to do the trick for me. Oh, oh, oh. That's one way of doing it, isn't it? It's like a big giant gluey tongue. Okay, so now I'm gonna push it together, line up the two lines. Cap back on the glue. Okay, there you go. So it's nice and dry, secure. As you can see, it's not the neatest. So next thing, we're gonna sand it. I'm starting on a 60 grain. I'll probably go up to maybe 120, 180. I'll see. There's the front that I've sanded for about 5 minutes. There's the back, big difference. So I'll spend another hour at this, 2 hours, I don't know, until I got it perfect. Another day, another dollar. Okay, so I've sanded it. It's looking smooth. Now I want to get some of this sawdust mix it with a bit of glue, fill in some cracks. Let's go. Okay, I've got the paste done, so I'm just going to start with this gap over here. So just going to scrape it along, get it all in there. Okay, so that's finished. No gaps. I'll leave that to dry for, I don't know, 5 hours or so. Maybe the full 24 that it says on the glue. And here we have it. The final result. I sanded it as good as I can. I put a beeswax finish on it. I would have liked it to go a bit darker, but I heard with cherry wood over time it darkens into like a mahogany almost colour, like a cherry colour, sort of like this. For the back I just got 2 clips. You can buy them in B&Q. So yeah, as a first attempt I am happy.